Rough Rider Nation, and welcome to the Rider Report, the ins and outs of Yavapai College athletics. I'm Brad Clifford. I'm the athletic director here at Yavapai College, and today joining me is our head soccer coach, Mike Pantalione. Mike, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Brad.
Well, let's talk about the Rough Riders here this last year. They had a great year academically. We had 3 kids that made the all-academic, NJCA all-academic status. We had numerous kids make the athletic director's honor roll. Let's talk about the academic kids first off.
Well, Brad, we try to do our best to recruit not only good players, but also good students and good people. We feel strongly that there is a direct correlation between performance in the classroom and performance on the field. And for example, if we're down by a goal or two with 10 or 15 minutes to go, we know the players are going to continue to fight because they want to succeed. They want to succeed in life. They want to succeed on the field, and they want to succeed in the classroom. So it's never over, our matches, and we always can count on our Rough Rider players to provide a 90-minute performance on the field and a 90-minute effort. As far as the classroom is concerned, we're very proud of our young men, 3 of which were NJCAA academic All-Americans, and that includes Johnny Ramirez, Spencer Kaufman, and Bailey Watkins. All of them did extremely well, close to 4.0 in the classroom. And in addition to that, we had a young man, Jacob Malek, who was a National Soccer Coach Association scholar athlete, and he was on the All-American Scholar Athlete team. And again, Jacob is a prime example of what it's all about. You know, and our goal and our mission pertaining to our soccer programs to move young men on to top-notch 4-year universities. And we have a rich history and tradition of doing that across the country. That has some quality colleges and universities, Division I, Division II, NAIA. We don't necessarily get hung up on classification. We want to make sure that they're pursuing their degree of study, and if they have a quality soccer program associated with that degree of study, then it's a bonus. So Jacob Malek, for example, is going really far west to Hawaii Pacific University to continue his education.
Well, and Jacob was an All-American on the field as well. So he attained 2 statuses in academics and on the field. So he did a great job with us. And again, additionally, we talked about numerous players that made the athletic director's honor roll, and too many to mention here. Let's talk about the 2017 team, and let's start with your returners and maybe talk about the attackers here real quick.
Well, it's hard to believe we're beginning our 29th campaign of Rough Rider soccer, and fortunately we have 13 returning players. And that includes our attackers, Carlo Quinzado, who was our leading scorer last year, Matthew Jordan, our second leading scorer, and J.P. Sears, who was our top assist man. In fact, he was 4th in the country in assists. And joining them in the attack, of course, are versatile players that include Lorenzo Macias, Angel Lopez, David Gandera, and Ziad Ferris. And all 4 can play up top, they can play wide, they can play in the middle of the park. In the case of Z and JP, they're probably our top 2 attackers that had a great spring season, and that came against very difficult competition. We played 3 quality 4-year universities as well as a professional side down in Phoenix. And it was great experience, not only for JP and Z, but the rest of our returning players.
You've always had a great defense, and we've had some great defenders here, Hall of Fame defenders. Let's talk about our defenders a little bit.
Well, all 4 are trustworthy that will be returning for us. That includes John Canner, Isaac Ariano, Ricky Nunez Ariano, and Johnny Ramirez. Again, all 4 are quality defenders. They're very good in one-on-one defense. They're very good at winning balls in the air. And again, from a coaching standpoint, they're very trustworthy.
And of course, defense comes and goes with your goalkeepers. We did a pretty decent job in goal last year. I'm sure we have a couple returners as well.
Well, we have a rich history and tradition with the goalkeeping position, similar to USC running backs, Penn State linebackers, and the Yavapai goalkeepers. And that history and tradition will continue with sophomores Justin Marcus from Utah and Spencer Kaufman from Chino Valley.
You know, I think it goes unseen, and maybe the Rough Rider Nation doesn't know we're a 2-year school, so having returners is key to the success of any season at the junior college level.
And we have a nice balance for the 2017 season, not only 13 returners, but we have 12 newcomers.
And the jury's always out on newcomers. You never know until they get here. There's a difference between high school and club ball and coming to college right away. So we never know until we see them on the field.
It's a much quicker game. I'm talking about the collegiate match, the collegiate game, of course. And again, the players that come from the high school and club ranks have to be quicker in action, quicker in thought. And they're the ones that are going to be successful early on. And we feel that we're excited about our 12 newcomers, but of course, actions speak louder than words.
For sure. And you talk about being quicker. They also need to be stronger. I think the freshmen come in and they don't realize how physical the game is. And therefore, in the spring, we see a lot of them in the weight room, and they do yeoman's work in the weight room of their freshman year.
Even though we won the conference title last year, there were obviously some deficiencies with our squad, and we felt we addressed them during the offseason. Of course, that includes adding some strength, adding some speed, having more balance in our attack by adding a few extra left-footing players, for example, and of course. It's always good to bring some prolific goal scorers in.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the season, because it begins on Tuesday, August 22nd. Before we know it, it's going to be here. And that's against Chandler Gilbert Community College, and that'll be out at Mountain Valley Park at 6 o'clock. Our first Ken Lindley home game will be Tuesday, September 5th against Phoenix College. So it's right around the corner here.
It's a full regular season schedule, the maximum 22 matches allowed by the NJCAA. And again, it's heavily saturated with conference matches, but we got two excellent non-conference matches. In fact, that will be taking place against West District opponents in Salt Lake Community College, as well as Snow College out of Utah. Now, our home games are split evenly, 6 at Ken Lindley Field in Prescott and 6 at Mountain Valley Park in Prescott Valley. All our home games start at 6 p.m., and we've always had great community support, and our players really, really appreciate that.
We do have great support for that. So again, that's right around the corner. For the second time this year, we're going to be hosting the Division I National Championship Tournament. This is huge for the college, huge for the program, and I think the community's back this, and they're excited for this opportunity.
Well, we hosted the event back in 2014. It was certainly a success. And that's attributed to not only you as tournament director, but also the sponsorship, the tremendous volunteers we've had. We had numerous volunteers associated with that tournament. And that was one of the keys to our success, as well as quality facilities, thanks in large part to the city of Prescott and the town of Prescott Valley. And 2017 will be no exception. The tournament will start with the banquet on Sunday, November 12th at the beautiful Prescott Valley Event Center. 5,000-seat arena. And, we've been fortunate as a program to have been associated with 20 national tournaments. And, again, that banquet was far and away the best banquet that we've ever experienced. And, of course, there will be plenty of matches in this area November 13th through the 18th when the national tournament really kicks off. There'll be 12 teams, hopefully 11 around the country. That would mean maybe we will be able to qualify, but there's no guarantee because, again, we're in a very, very difficult conference, region, and district, and you have to advance in those three areas just to get to the national tournament, let alone win a national title. So hopefully for the Yavapai College soccer program, we'll have some home cooking. We'll be able to advance and represent the school and the community well. And, we look forward to hosting the event regardless.
You alluded to it a little bit. The banquet is November 12th. It is open to the public. However, you need to call me if you want to come to that banquet because there are limited space. Having 12 teams and also the dignitaries. We also have a keynote speaker, which in 2014 was Andre Luciano, former player of Yavapai College, and Andre's going to come back and speak to us again 3 years later in 2017, so we're looking for that. We're looking forward to volunteers. We need volunteers. We need sponsors. So please get a hold of me if you are interested in sponsoring and volunteering because this is a great event, and the community's really backed this event, and it brings quite a bit of economic growth to the Yavapai County. Let's talk about some. We've had numerous players play professionally. Currently, we have 3 players playing professionally in MLS. Currently, we have players playing professionally overseas. So, can you talk about those that are playing that we know about playing MLS?
Well, first off, we're very proud of all 485 alumni. Many of them are very, very successful in business, in education, in law, in medicine. Some of them are still associated with the sport, and you alluded to the MLS players. And of course, you start off with always with Alan Gordon. Alan Gordon's been in the MLS forever, it seems like. He played at Yavapai College way back in 2000 and 2001 before moving on to Oregon State University. And again, Alan has had a long career with the Los Angeles Galaxy, but more recently with the Colorado Rapids. And as his career has progressed, especially in his latter years, he's found his niche. He's the microwave. He comes off the bench with about 10 minutes to go, creates havoc, and generally creates a goal or an assist late in the match. And again, he's also, by the way, represented the United States national team on occasion. Right. And of course, you can continue with Roger Espinoza for the Sporting Kansas City. And Roger's had a long career at a number of places, not only in the MLS, but he also played in the Premiership in England, where his team won the FA Cup. Also represented Honduras in 2 World Cups. And again, Roger is just a superb midfielder for Sporting Kansas City. And by the way, after his playing days at Yavapai, went on to Ohio State University. And then, of course, there's Justin Merrim, who also played for Yavapai in 07 and 08, a key component of those back-to-back national championship teams. Justin later moved on to the University of Michigan and is now in his 6th or 7th season with the Columbus Crew, and he's one of the key attackers on that squad.
And throughout the first pitch of the Detroit Tigers game the other day.
Yes, I talked to Justin and gave him some pointers. It was very important to have him review a performance of George W. Bush in Game 3 of the 2001 World Series shortly after the 9/11 incident, where George not only threw out the first pitch, did so on top of the mound and threw a perfect strike. So I informed Justin to take a look at that video and certainly warm up prior to throwing out the first pitch.
How'd he do?
I'm sure he did well.
Right,
the game wasn't televised here in Arizona.
Right. Well, we're proud of our tradition at Yavapai College, and it starts from the top with you, Mike. We appreciate all you do. We're very honored to have him as our head coach for 28 years, going into our 29th year.
Well, if I may say so, all the credit goes to the players. When we're very, very fortunate to qualify, not as I mentioned before, not only for 20 national tournaments, 18 Final Four finishes, 13 national championship game appearances, 7 national titles, and I can guarantee you the coaching staff never scored a goal. And it's attributed to the quality young men that represented this program, and we've had a long history, and hopefully we can continue that once again, a rich and storied history. We're really looking forward to the 2017 season.
You bet. Well, we appreciate you being here, Mike. Any last words for the Rough Rider Nation?
No, as you would say, go Rough Riders.
Absolutely. Reminder to follow us on www.goroughriders.com. You can find the soccer schedule on that site. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. And as Mike just said, go Rough Riders.